Hey everyone, welcome to From This Till Dawn. My name's Steve, and today we've got a very simple holiday pickups video for you. So without too much further ado, let's get into it. So at the moment of recording this, I'm over in Florida. This is the second visit to Florida that we've had this holiday. We've come on holiday with some really good friends of ours. We've been planning this since January this year. It's kind of a treat for both of us. Have got lads who have just done their GCSEs, and they've both worked really hard through there. So we thought we'd give them a bit of a blowout holiday. So we came across, we did Orlando for a few days last week. We went up to North Carolina, more about that in a minute. And we're back down in Florida on gorgeous Anna Maria Island. We arrived yesterday, but our flight was delayed about 12 hours, 11 or 12 hours. So we didn't arrive here until 4 o'clock this morning. It is, Christ, I don't even know what day it is, Tuesday, I think. Yeah, it's Tuesday. So I've not had a lot of sleep, so that's why I'm a little bit more haggard than usual. But, you know, this place is making us feel a little bit better. Anyway, while I've been here, obviously I'm going to try and make the most of picking up some of the titles that are harder to find in the UK, the American titles. And also I've happened to time this really well with the Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion sale. I'm not a huge Criterion lover. I think they've got some great titles. I just think that they put out really dull editions for the price. But the 50% off sale makes things much more palatable. And, excuse me, to be fair, Criterion 4K restorations are always pretty good quality. So yesterday, just while we were killing time, waiting for to go to the airport, fell across a Barnes & Noble in Biltmore Village, or Biltmore Town, Biltmore, North Carolina, I don't know, near Asheville. And so I headed straight for that and picked up a few titles. So the first one that I got is the really rather brilliant Menace to Society there. There was a spate of kind of hood films from the early 90s, Boys in the Hood. New Jack City was another one of the first ones that came out there. And this, which was the debut film from the Hughes brothers, was kind of the hardest hitting of them. Juice was another one, which is an excellent film in my opinion. But being the age that I was then, which was, Christ, what was I when this came out, about 18? It really resonated. These films, this is pretty gritty film set in Watts in Los Angeles, and it follows Kane there, and of course O-Dog, who's played by Lorenz Tate. It's a pretty uncompromising view of hood life around that time. There was a feeling it was more of an exploitative kind of film than Boys in the Hood. And it being put out by New Line Cinema as well, they did Freddy Krueger, so they're just going for like the exploitation angle. It's not, it's a really great film, and it's also got an early cameo from Samuel L. Jackson. So really pleased to have picked up the 4K of Menace to Society. So another one from the Criterion sale is another David Lynch film. I've got Blue Velvet, Lost Highway, and Fire Walk With Me, which are all on Criterion. I've got those on 4K. But I also picked up The Elephant Man. This is one of, if not the most accessible David Lynch films. It's a heartbreaking story, beautifully told. Shot in glorious black and white, so I'm really got high hopes for this transfer as well. I think it was Freddie Francis, the old Hammer cinematographer and director, who was the cinematographer on this. Wonderful cinematographer. I think he also shot Glory and won the Academy Award for that. But the photography in this looks absolutely amazing. And of course, the performances from John Hurt as John Merrick and Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Treves are just heartbreaking. So really pleased again to have picked this one up. I've had my eye on it for a long time. I couldn't get the nice collector's edition we've got in the UK. I think it's by Studio Canal. I might be wrong there. So yeah, getting this 50% off. No brainer. The Elephant Man. Yeah, another Criterion title that I picked up. I haven't been able to get the Arrow Video Collector's Edition of this. So seeing the Criterion, I don't really think I'm settling on second best there. Or am I? No, I'm not. I'm joking. The only thing that will tweak me is that this will not look as nice on the shelf, I don't think. But high hopes again for David Cronenberg's amazing Videodrome. So this looks to be packed with special features as well. I think all of these that I've shown, the Menace Society, Elephant Man, and this all contain the Blu-ray as well. But again, this is not a film that I've had physical form since VHS. So this really will be an upgrade, I am sure. So looking forward to getting into this and seeing just how Rick Baker's amazing makeup effects look. Videodrome from Criterion. So last up from the Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble. It's a film that, as a film fan, I really should have seen this by now, but I haven't. So don't come at me, please. But it is quite often cited as the best film ever made. Orson Welles' Citizen Kane. So this is a slightly chunkier set than, so the Videodrome and whatnot, you can see is just a little bigger there. So it was slightly more expensive. This one was advertised as $60, so you know, picked it up for $30. It looks to be an amazing addition, and you know, it's something that as a film fan I feel like I really should have in my collection, and I should at least watch this once. I have a feeling that I will probably love this, and I have a feeling this, again, black and white photography, 4K, spot on. And this does have Dolby Vision as well. The absolute masterpiece, Citizen Kane from Orson Welles. So that's all the Criterion titles from the Barnes & Noble sale. This morning, while we were finding our feet here, we went to do, after breakfast, a bit of a grocery shop to keep this magnificent place that we're staying in stocked with food, with, you know, two 16-year-old lads in here who have to be fed every 7 minutes or they turn into gremlins. We're always buying food. So while I was in Walmart, of course, I'm going to go and check out the physical media section. It was disappointing. This is the second or third Walmart that I've been into. They had a better selection in here, but they've definitely got more choice of guns and ammo than they do of movies in your average Walmart. America. But I did pick up the steelbook of Alexander Aja's Crawl. Nice, fun alligator film. I feel like it's kind of appropriate, being in Florida, that I get a gator film. But it's a lot of fun. Sam Raimi produced it. Yeah, some dodgy CGI, but it's fun. And it's actually quite a nice steelbook. And this was about, I think it was about $28. So I'm not going to break the bank on that one. So pleased to have picked up Crawl. And while I was there, I have never seen this either, but it is, to all intents and purposes, a classic in the anime genre, and that is Perfect Blue. And this again is a lovely steelbook edition that I've picked up, and again, about $28. So I couldn't really say no to that. So that's a couple of pickups that I've got from Walmart as well. So I mentioned earlier on that we've actually been planning this holiday since January this year, January 26. We knew we wanted to go more than just one place while we were over here in the States. I fancied a bit of a road trip. So we came over, we did Orlando. We did it a couple of years ago as a group as well, the two families, there's 7 of us. And we were over a couple of years ago around Halloween time, because we did Universal Horror Nights and Disney's Halloween stuff. Really, really good fun. But we knew that we wanted to do a couple of different things this time. So we drove from Orlando up to North Carolina. And when we were planning the holiday, and this is nothing to do with me or my suggestion or anything, but Asheville kept coming up. And when Asheville kept being mentioned, I was thinking, why does Asheville ring a bell? And of course, it's the home of Orbit DVD. Orbit DVD, if you don't know, are one of the main retailers that collectors in the US and globally will use to get US titles. And they also stock international releases as well, loads of international releases. They have an awesome collection of used films as well. So when Asheville came up, I was like, yeah, Asheville sounds, I'm all for Asheville. So I've been planning an Orbit DVD day. So I sat out there with my son, because nobody else in the group's really kind of interested in films. And off we went. Full disclosure, I will I will put the clip in here. I had intended to do like an Orbit-centered episode, but I got in there and was just like a child. So filming went out the window, and I was just running up and down the store, having a look at what they got there. Super friendly staff, super knowledgeable, really chatty, and in my typically English way. Forgot to get the guy's name. We exchanged letterbox details. He's got the YouTube channel. He's got the From This Till Dawn stuff. He's got a great number of lists of recommendations on Letterboxd. He goes by the name on there, Colours of the Dark. Just double checking that. Colours of the Dark. So you should check him out as Colours the American way. So no U in there. COLORS of the Dark. And I think there are a couple of members with that name. His has a great thumbnail of a little lad puking into a jack-o'-lantern. So you're not going to miss that one. But we were talking about, funny enough, we talked about loads of stuff. I could have stayed talking to him all day. I'm sure he didn't feel the same way. But if he did, he didn't let it know. But we were talking about New York set films, sort of grimy New York films, and Video Nasties. He is trying to collect all section 1, 2, and 3. Video Nasties is obsessed with them, which is great. You know, there's so many Americans that are interested in that period. It's really cool. So we were chatting away, and he happened to mention that also on Sundays in Asheville at the Asheville Pizza and Brewing Company, he will screen films. And what he was just screening on Sunday just gone, which was the day before we were due to leave there, was Night of the Creeps. And I believe this Sunday coming up is Zombie. So gutted that I didn't make it, because it would have been a really good night. I'm sure he puts a whole collection of trailers together for these films as well that are in keeping with the theme of the main film. But I'm pretty sure that Zombie would be awesome over there. Anyway, what did I pick up from there? I had to pick up some Scream Factory stuff. Been after this for a while. It was on the shelf. Very classic film, classic horror film, The Haunting from 1963. Still a pretty frightening film. Really, again, 4K, black and white, can't miss. So Scream Factory's The Haunting. Sticking with Scream Factory in there, I also picked up the Steelbook of Slither. Now I know Keith from Euphoria mentioned that he was disappointed with the UK release, the quality of the transfer. It was kind of hit and miss. I think he was saying, even though it's director approved, I think it's exactly the same transfer, so we'll see when I get this one back. But it's a good, fun creature film from James Gunn. It's got a great cast. Michael Rooker's brilliant in this. It's got Nathan Fillion in, and what's the guy? Greg Henry. He's also in here, and it's very, very funny. So looking forward to seeing Slither, another Steelbook. In kind of an Evil Dead mode. Evil Dead Burn has just been released. So I picked up the Steelbook of the Evil Dead remake from 2013, which is the Fede Alvarez remake. This is a film that I've not given an awful lot of love to. I've only seen it once. I wasn't massively impressed. But other people, again, Keith from Euphoria, being one of them, sort of says, no, you definitely need to give it another shot. And I do like to watch films at least twice just to see if I was in the right frame of mind first time round. This version has 4Ks of the R-rated and uncut or unrated, which I'm quite relieved at, because Scream Factory are notorious for not doing 4K transfers of the unrated versions. So looking forward to actually giving that a second watch. Infinity Pool by Brandon Cronenberg. We had his dad David's Videodrome. Now I've got baby Cronenberg's. Was it his third film? Might be third, but follow-up to Possessor anyway, which is another film that I love, and that has a great second sight 4K release of that. I'm a big fan of Infinity Pool. It's got Mia Goth in, as well as Alexander Skarsgård. I'm a huge fan of Mia Goth. Actually, we saw Odyssey yesterday as well, and completely forgot that she was in it. But she is such a touch of class and unhinged in this film. There is some rough stuff going on in here. He's definitely, with Brandon Cronenberg, the apple's not fallen very far in the best possible way. So Steelbook of Brandon Cronenberg's Infinity Pool. Another Steelbook. This is a double dip. I'm sure Mr. Neggs may have something to say about me double dipping on a title. I mentioned I did a video earlier this year on folk horror, and this is one of my most favourite and most famous folk horrors, and it is The Wicker Man. So this is the 4K Steelbook. Now, this is a German release, but apart from the J card, which is actually one of the nice ones where the Steelbook sits inside it, apart from the J card being in German, this is exactly the same as a Studio Canal 4K Steelbook release with 4 discs, with 3 different cuts. Anybody who watches anything other than the final cut, don't. The final cut's where it's at. But what a gorgeous looking Steelbook. The English one now is getting silly money on eBay, whereas I picked that up really cheaply from Orbit. Massively pleased with that. Evil Dead Rise, another sticking with the Evil Dead theme. It's a recent Arrow Video 4K release of Evil Dead Rise. Again, it's just something that I am a fan of this. I saw this and I thought, yes, it's definitely got some things going on in there. And of course, Lee Cronin has gone on to recently release The Mummy as well, which, from what I'm told, comes across more like an Evil Dead film than a Mummy film. But pleased to have picked that up. As is always the case, I find it amusing that quite often I have to go to a US retailer to get a UK release that I've missed out on or has gone out of print, because they seem to get more copies than UK retailers. And this is Hammer's 4K release of Scars of Dracula. I say Hammer's 4K release, it's not, it's on Studio Canal, but it's of Hammer's Scars of Dracula, starring Christopher Lee. So yeah, this is now only available in a standard edition in the UK, but I managed to pick up this nice collector's set in a nice rigid slip box there. which is very good. So while I was paying for this little stack in orbit, and just continuing to chat to the guy there, again, I'm so annoyed that I didn't just say, sorry, what's your name? Because he was lovely. Behind him were some of the kind of, not necessarily rarer titles, but ones that are a bit harder to find. They also have a lovely cabinet in there, glass cabinet, where they've got the bigger collector's sets that are in there. So, for example, they had a set of the imprint Halloween library case and all of that. And also a copy of Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. Again, check it out, great film. Anyway, chatting away to him, my eyes wandered behind, and I thought my eyes were playing a little trick on me, because I saw a title down there. In fact, they had about 4 or 5 copies of it that I thought didn't get a chance to get now. When this was announced and released, it went like that, as is so often the case with this label. It's the collector's edition of Trick or Treat from Synapse. Now, as I said, when this was released, it went so quickly. It was, I can't remember the amount of copies that they released of this. I don't know whether it was 6,000, because there were 3 cover variants. And I think this is cover C, B or C, regardless. All of the copies that Orbit had were of this variant here. It's not a brilliant film, but it's from a time period, 1986. This was kind of a staple of VHS stores in the horror aisle. And I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to have this lovely edition from Synapse, especially when I thought the opportunity had passed me by, and it wasn't a horrible price at all. It really wasn't. I think when this was released, it was $60. I think I paid $70. And it's a prime example, chatting to again, my man in Orbit, the inventory that they have in the shop is different to the one they have on the web store. So obviously anything that they've got online, you can collect in store, but they've got some stuff that's in store that are kind of in-store exclusives. This is one of them, and is, just another reason why, if you are able to, in the US, get yourself across to Asheville to go and have a look at the actual bricks and mortar store, it's a good reason to do that. But yeah, really pleased to have picked that one up. Trick or Treat from Synapse. So those are the titles I've picked up on my little US adventure, in between Swim with Dolphins and Whitewater Rapids and all sort of stuff like that, and crazy thunderstorms. It's been really nice to actually see physical media on sale in stores. Orbit really is a jewel in the crown of bricks and mortar stores. And as I say, it's just great for people like us, collectors like us, just to get in there and just to talk nonsense about the films that we love. Really good. Walmart, disappointing, particularly as I'm trying to get some of the Walmart exclusives that they've had. It's proving very difficult. So I think I'll just have to kiss those ones goodbye and maybe keep an eye out online. No biggie, it's fine. I just had a note today to say that Lionsgate have shipped Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair as well. So that might be arriving back in the UK similar time that I am, if I can get the shipping sorted out from the UK, from the US, beg your pardon. But yeah, it's been a pretty good haul, pretty pleased with what I've got there. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you've picked any of these titles up, let me know about the Criterion releases. I'm really interested to hear that and to hear your thoughts on Criterion as a label. Again, I said they just don't give me enough for the price. I know they're generally really good transfers. I've got no complaints of the 4Ks that I've got. Have heard some shockers about things like the Breakfast Club, but they just don't give me enough for that price point. You know, you're talking, well, here, for example, $60 for Citizen Kane. Yeah, it's reasonable packaging, but it's not, you know, this sort of stuff. So let me know about that in the comments, or any of the other titles that I've talked about. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the channel. It's great to see that subscriber count growing every day, and I'm really, really pleased with the way the comment section goes. So thank you for that and keep it going. But that's all I've got for you today. So thanks for tuning in to From Dusk Till Dawn. My name's Steve, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.
Well, what do we do?
Why don't we just wait here for a little while? See what happens.